think so.
Skylab, we're reading you loud and clear over the Vanguard for 8 minutes.
Okay, Story. You want to talk to him, Jack, or should I? It's going kind of slow up here, Story. The reason is because the folds are stuck together, and had to reef it back in some, or pull it back in to not stick the glue. Both poles are fully deployed. He's just getting the sail out on him now. In fact, it's been all the way out once. He's got it back in again now, working on the pleats.
Understand the sail is stuck together in places?
Yes.
And you did get the twist out of the lines?
All complete.
That's another thing we solved, and you beat us to it.
How did you solve it?
We broke the pole in half between the two pulleys and moved the line that had a 180 in it, threw the brake, and then reconnected the poles.
That's just how we solved it. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
What's happening is apparently at the front edge, Story, and at the back edge of the sail, where that white material is, it's sort of stuck together. We broke that apart manually and then kind of fluffed up the main sail material and sent it out. But the rigidity of the poles is such that the folded up material tends to pull the poles together about as much as the poles tend to pull it apart. In fact, exactly as much, I guess. But the whole point is it doesn't completely come out when it's out at the end of the pole. We've now got the sail back in sort of a little bit to make sure it's not sticking at any one fold. In other words, no two faces of the fold are completely stuck together, but they're all going to accordion equally. Then get it out to the end again, tie down the two end places, and I guess the sun will heat it up and cause the poles forces to expand until it's finally level. Do you think that's true?
It looks great now.
Okay, it sounds like you got that work under control, Al, and I'll try to get you an answer on the folds. And is there anything we can do for you down here?
I just yanked it all back in, Story, and took the folds apart as much as I could. And it looks like it's doing better now.
Yeah.
I can only see one pleat. In fact, it's just opened up partly now. All pleats are partly expanded. Some of the pleats are, of course, fully
Okay,
expanded.
great. And when you deploy the reefing lines out to the dog bones out there, that'll help to pull those poles apart, too.
What's your story?
Everything's going good up here. They're working at a slow, steady pace, and nobody's tired. We're the most concerned about this one because we didn't want to lose any parts.
Okay.
Okay, I got it clipped off.
We
Thank you.
Had a couple of funnies here. We ran through the 82A and B checks. And although everything seemed to work right, except we got no ready light for either one. Now we realized we weren't in experiment pointing, so I went into experiment pointing momentarily to see if I could get it. I could not. I came back out again. However, it appeared to take a frame, in that the frame remaining on UV spec is 200, where it was 201, and the UV slit is 1607, and it had been 1608. Now, maybe those just click-off frames, whether you take a picture or not, as long as you operate the start-stop switch. But we got no ready lights on either of those cameras.
Thanks a lot, Al. We're working in.
Okay, and all the rest of the things have gone strictly nominal.
Is this screw going to come all the way out? You might say I got a screw loose up here, sorry.
As long as it's only one, you're okay.
Okay, I'll try that.
Jack's working hard now, but he reported that when we operated the 55 door several times, that it looked like it had a slight hang-up right at the very last motion before it went into the stop, both coming in and going out. He didn't know whether he could count that as enough to hang it up or not, but that may be the problem. Now, he'll have to say whether he thinks it was the ramp itself or just something behind it that made it appear that the ramp was doing it.
Copy that.
Well, there are no scar marks on the top part of the ramp. All I can think is maybe it's a little hanging up on the bottom side of the ramp. I noticed that the ramps on some of the other doors got a little more of a wear mark on them than this one. This one's very clean on the top, but maybe on the bottom that it's sticking.
Okay, we copy that, Jack. And could you verify that you pushed the sail against the OWS?
Yeah, I can verify that. Now, the leading edge of the sail is, the pole is about 1 foot above the skin of the workshop. And the end of the pole is down on the workshop at the F end. The pole on the right, whatever one it is the end of it looks like it's resting on that big bump down there at the end of the workshop.
Okay, is there any curving of the sail against the workshop or bowing of the rods?
No, I can't see it right now. Oops, there goes the sun, too.
Tell you what we did, Story. We finished doing it.
There ain't any light up here, Al.
Yeah.
Could you turn it? No, the sun end lights ain't working. What do you do?
You still there, Story?
Yes, sir, for a couple minutes.
Okay, here's what we did. We finished that job at night, and we still had about 20 minutes a night to go. So we left the foot restraints down there. We put the poles and sail down there snug as we thought it should be, best we could see at night. And then we went off and did these other jobs. Now, as Jack comes back from the sun end, he passes right by that spot. He's going to stop, trim it up. Hopefully the sail is expanded further because of the last sun on it, you know, and we talked about the accordion problem. Push it down and adjust it just like you want it, and then that'll be the end of the ball game. We'll put it inside. Now, here's a question. Did it sound like we had it in the right position, the position you want?
Yeah, that sounded good, Al. We just wanted to verify that we did have it down tight against the workshop to avoid any tax impingement on it.
Okay, the message we received was we wanted to move it down until the poles just touched the leading edge of the parasol. Now, the parasol was not presenting a horizontal line to the poles because as you know, one of the parasol poles didn't extend fully. It was up in the air. We pushed it down until the poles were level with the what would look like the apex of the parasol and the one pole that did look like it deployed fully. lights are on.
Yeah, they're not on at the front end.
We only have switches for the AM,
Well, they must have burnout lights.
EA, the deployment assembly, and the ATM.
All
Okay,
right.
Al, that sounds good with the sail. As long as the rods are pushed hard enough against the OWS to bend the poles and make a curve in the sail, you do not have to retract the sail.
Okay, now when the next sunrise comes, Jack's going to stop there and he'll push them down so that they're bending and touching the workshop, as you said.
And if they're like that, you don't have to retract them where you're seeing the parasol. That'll be fine.
Okay, we can do it either way.
Boy, it gets dark out here, you know that? There's nothing but me and the lights in my PCU. There's the moon. We got a half moon up here, Story.
Apparently the EVA lights are burned out at the sun end. I only see these one row of switches. Story, you suppose there's a circuit breaker that's in here that could somehow be cutting the sun end EVA lights out and have the rest of them working okay?
Okay, we'll work that too. We're about 15 seconds to LOS here. We'll pick you up over Ascension in 9 minutes.